and divide evenly with the divisor. So 19 rounds to what? 20. Okay. So what number could I pick close to 607 that will divide evenly with 20? 600. And you know, a lot of times I just ignore the zeros and just think about the 2. What number does 2 divide evenly into? Okay. Now I can cross off these zeros. So 60 divided by 2 is 30. Okay. All right, 24. What should I round it to?
20.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to round it. I think I'm going to make it 25. I can do that. This is my math, right? If I want to get closer to the actual answer, is there a rule against that? No. So what would I make 123 then that 25 will divide into?
125.
125. Like $1.25. So how many quarters would be in $1?
4.
And then add another 25 cents.
$1.
Very good. So that would be 5 quarters. Okay. 96. What does it round to? Okay. Can I actually round this number?
Yeah.
I can. So 9 divided by 1 is 9. Okay, so the next one. 62 rounds to... So you're going to spend a lot of time in the next few weeks just looking at those first 2 numbers out of a 4-digit number. Okay? So I'm just looking at the 6 and the 54 right now. Will 6 divide evenly into 54?
Yes.
Yes, it will. So that's all I'm going to put. And I'm going to change the rest of this to zeros. Now I'm going to cross off zeros, but I'm still looking at 54 divided by 6. What is it?
9.
And I can't just put 9 there because I've got a 0 here. This is 540. Good. All right. This next one you don't have on your paper. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to skip this one. Okay? Go to the next one. It's on the back. This is a review of yesterday. This will be very good if you were absent yesterday, don't you think? Okay, so I made you a poster yesterday. You're welcome. Okay, and this poster shows the steps I want to use for long division. So your eyes should be on this poster right now. Step 1 is write the problem. There are a lot of kids that start skip counting before they ever write the problem, okay? So we've got to make sure and write the problem first. So everybody write it. Which number goes in the doghouse?
157.
The first one. Thank you. Okay? The second step says round the divisor. Now this is optional. Do you see how I added optional beside it?
Yeah.
Okay? Sometimes I will round the divisor. Sometimes I won't have to because I can just skip count by the divisor without changing it. Can I skip count by 30s?
Yeah.
I don't need to round this, do I?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to skip count by 30s, but my trick is
Add 0.
skip count by 3s
Yeah, you
and then add a 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and do that. That's the second step. Or the third step, actually.
And then.
Okay, so now I'm going to estimate. So when I estimate, that means I fill in the rest of this division problem. This is my estimate. So which number here in my skip counting or my multiples is closest to 157?
150.
150. So write that down. Now we're going to go ahead and divide. 15 divided by 3. 5. Now, I'm ready to do the steps to long division. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? Okay? You don't have to write it on your paper unless you want to because it's right here in front of us in the room. Okay? So, the steps to long division is divide first. Where do I write this 5?
On top of the 7.
Okay, and let's explain. Can I make 30 groups out of 1? No. Can I make 30 groups out of 15?
No.
No. So you can write the zeros there if that helps you, but it will be wrong if you don't put the 5 above the 7. Okay? After I divide, what do I do? Multiply. What do I multiply? 5 times 30. Don't we already know what it is? Okay, so that's the nice thing about skip counting. After I multiply, what do I do? Subtract. After I subtract, what do I do? Okay, what do I check? Is 7 less than 30? And then starting today, because your math review puts a lowercase r, and I don't want to go in and change all those math reviews. Would you just go ahead and start putting a lowercase r for me? Okay. Now, if you're highlighting, then this is where you're going to need to highlight the 3 numbers that you used to check the problem. And starting today, highlighting is optional. So if you just want to circle them with your pencil, whatever you want to do, okay? But you've got to do it right. So what do I multiply together, Ryder, to check this problem? No. 30 times 5. Look at it. Everybody look at it. 30 times 5. That's why I don't highlight this 7 up here. So if you accidentally highlighted it at the top, you've got to do it at the bottom.
Because then you'll get more confused.
Yes.
150.
Okay, what's my next step, Sergio? Okay, I subtracted in my problem. So when I check it, I want to do the opposite of subtract. So what's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. Good. Now, if I do this correctly, it should match the dividend I started with. Okay, let's go down and do the next one. Step 1, write the problem. Step 2, round the divisor. But it's optional. Do I need to round it this time? No. Step 3, skip count by the divisor. And I think I'm going to have to skip count over here because I'm running out of room. So I'm going to skip count by 7s and then add my 0. All right, after I skip count by the divisor, I'm ready to estimate. So which number here is closest to 432 without going over? 420, that's what you write down. 42 divided by 7.
6.
So we're going to put a 6 on top of the doghouse. That's the division step. Where do I write the 6?
On top above the 2.
Okay, because 43 is too small to make 70 groups out of. So if it's easier for you to write your zeros up there, go ahead. All right, so after I divide, what do I do? Multiply. What do I multiply?
76.
What's the answer?
420.
Okay. After I multiply, what do I do?
Subtract.
Subtract. What do I have here?
12.
Okay, after I subtract, what do I do? Is 12 less than 70?
Yes.
Okay. So that will work as my remainder. And starting today, if I forget the lowercase r, just kindly remind me that I decided to change it, okay? All right, so now I'm ready to check the problem with multiplication. Ryder, what are you going to multiply? Good. Sergio, now what? Add 12? Did he say add 12?
Yes.
Good. And 432 should be the dividend I started with. Okay? All right. So let's go on to the next thing. It's our application problem. All right, I'm going to read this, and then we're going to do RDW. Okay. All right. Billy has 2.4 meters of ribbon for crafts. He wants to share it evenly with 12 friends. How many centimeters of ribbon would 7 friends get? They're trying to make this complicated, okay? First of all, what's important that I need to put a box around? Meters. What else? Centimeters. We've got to change it, don't we?
Yeah.
What else? 12. Good. 7. Yes. No.
Oh, crap.
What? Share. Share it evenly. Okay. So let's draw. What do you think we should draw? Tape diagram. If you didn't draw your tape diagram, do it now. Stay with me. Do we have a total amount of ribbon?
No.
We do too. What? 2.4 meters. So that's like 24 tenths. Okay. All right. So how many equal boxes do you think I need in the tape diagram? 12. Very good. Because that's how many people he's sharing it with. So when I make 12, I do 4 groups of 3. The 7's there to trick you. Who's he sharing it with? No, who's he sharing it with? 12 friends. That's what you need. Now, what do you think the 7 is for?
For each, how much?
No.
Each friend gets? How many centimeters?
Okay, it says how many centimeters of ribbon would 7 friends get? So I've got to figure out 1 unit. Here's what I know. I know 12 units, write this down, equals 2.4 meters. Okay? I've got to figure out 1 unit before I do anything else. Then I need to know how many 7 friends get. So there are actually 2 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do, oops, undo. So this is also a question mark. I've got to know 1 of these, and then I need to know 7 of them. Okay? So what do you think I'm going to do here to solve 2.4? Huh? Okay, well, it says share. Divide. So I'm going to do 2.4 divided by how many boxes? 12. Now, I think it might be easier to take this and change it to 24 tenths. Okay? So 24 tenths divided by 12. What would that be? 2 what?
2 meters.
Okay. What? Write this down.
Equals 2 tenths.
2 tenths. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and change it from unit form to standard form right there. Okay? So now do I know what is in each box? What is it? 2 tenths. Okay? So now I've got to figure out, okay, 7 units would be 7 times what? 2 tenths equals 14 tenths. How do I write that?
0.14. I mean, no, 1.4.
Okay, stop and think before you answer. So now I've got 7 units would be 1.4 meters. Are you with me? What's the last thing I need to do? Yes, convert. So I have to convert 1.4 meters to what? Centimeters. So write this down and then 3 equal signs underneath. Okay, I'm going from meters to centimeters. So I'll start with 1 what here? 1 meter equals how many centimeters?
100.
Very good. Now what do I multiply? 1.4 times 100. How will I solve that?
Hopping the decimal.
Okay, I'm going to rewrite it because I don't want to run into this multiplication sign. So how many times will I hop it?
2.
2 times. Which way?
Right.
Right. So my answer in centimeters is 140. You guys rock. That was awesome. Okay, let's start today's lesson. Okay, step 1, write the problem. So 72 divided by 21. Step 2, round the divisor. But that's optional. So if I don't think I need to round the divisor, I can skip count by the divisor. Stay with me, don't work ahead. Lillian, don't work ahead. Okay? So give me your ideas. Should I round 21 to 20 or should I just skip count by 21?
21.
Totally. Didn't we practice that the other day? So I'm going to keep my divisor the same. And I'm going to skip count by it. Now, do you remember the trick?
May I just add 1? I 2.
Okay, tell me what the trick was. So count by ones in the ones column. Count by twos in the tens column. Do I need to go any farther than that? No. As long as I pass 72.
Very good.
So which number, now I'm ready for the estimate step. Okay. So which number over to the side, Fernanda, is closest to 72 without going over? 63. And we know that 63 divided by 21 is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm going to try a 3 on top. Where should I put it?
2.
Above the 2. Okay. We already know that 3 times 21 is what?
61. 63.
After I multiply, what do I do? Now, here's the deal. They threw in regrouping for us today. Very nice of them. Okay. So I can say in my mind 72 minus 63 and just count backwards. Or I can regroup. Make that a 6. Make this a 12. What's 12 minus 3? 9. Okay, is 9, what am I doing here? Is 9 smaller than 21?
Yes.
So that's my remainder. What 3 numbers do I highlight, Ryder?
21, 3, and 9.
Very good. But the bottom 9, okay? How about Tyler? Tyler, what's my multiplication problem need to be when I check this? Here's your multiplication sign.
21 times 3.
Good. What is my next step? Alan. Add the remainder. And if you forget to add, remember, we subtracted in the division problem, so we're going to do the opposite when we check it. Did I start with a 72?
Yes.
All right. So sometimes you won't round your divisor. Let's look at the next problem. 43. What do you want to do with it?
4.
Well, let's do step 1. Write the problem. Can you skip count by 43s, or would you like to round it?
Round it. We don't have to go very far.
Well, we only have to go past 94. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave it. I think whenever we can leave it, we should. It will just simplify our lives. Okay? So I've got 43. And then what?
86.
86. And then,
129.
you remember from, that was Tuesday, wasn't it? Okay, you did the trick. 3, 6, 9, 4, 8, 12. Okay, so now I'm ready to estimate. Which number over to the side, Yasmin, is closest to 94 without going over? 86, good. And 86 divided by 43 is what, boys and girls? 2. So what will I write on top of the doghouse? 2. Where do I write it? Above the 4. Good. Now, after I divide, because that was my divide step, Jarrett, what do I do now? Okay, what 2 numbers? And what do you get? We already did it. It's over here. What is it? 86. Okay, and I want to just stop for a minute and show you something. Look up here. You know, this is 43 times 1. This is 43 times 2. This is 43 times 3. Okay? So that's the answers. The multiples are just the same thing as multiplying times 1, 2, 3, and keep going. Okay, after I multiply, what do I do, Yasmin? Okay, what do I need to do to subtract here? I need to regroup. So the 9 becomes an 8. The 4 becomes a 14, and I've got 14 minus 6.
8.
Now, I don't know about you, Mrs. Lowry. I'm going to ask her some things here.
Oh.
When I look at a problem like this, I just do 14 minus 6 in my head. Because I have those memorized. What do you do?
I do the borrowing, but I just put a little circle under the 9 circle so I can see it's an 8.
Okay. So here's what she does. She has a little trick. She just changes that to an 8. Clever. Huh? Okay. All right. So after I subtract, Sergio, what's my next step? Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? After I subtract, what do I do? Check. What do I check, Sergio? And is 8 smaller than 43?
Yeah.
Okay. What 3 numbers do I highlight, Alan? 2, 43, and 8. You are right. Okay. Isaac, what does my multiplication problem need to be to check this thing?
43 times 2.
43 times 2. And my answer?
Is 86.
Okay, good. And Jaden, what do I do next?
You add your remainder.
Add my remainder. And I'm probably going to get 94. All right, and that was a 9 till we changed it. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, write the problem. Now we have to make a decision. Should we round the divisor or should we keep it?
Keep it.
Keep it, okay? So not everyone's going to always agree on this, but I agree with you today, okay? So can you skip count by 23s?
Yeah.
You're going to do by 3s in the 1s column and by 2s in the 10s column, okay? Uh-oh.
It's just a small problem.
Just a small problem. Here's how I'm going to solve it. I'm just going to add 23. What do you think? So what did I get?
92.
92. So here are my multiples. They're here, 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 and then down there. Okay? So I'm ready to estimate. Eileen, she's gone, isn't she? How about Lila? Lila, what number over here in my multiples of 23 is closest to 84 without going over? 69. Okay. 69 divided by 23, boys and girls, is 3. Do you see how we're getting it so fast? Just count 1, 2, 3. Did everybody see where I pointed?
Yeah.
Just count 1, 2, 3. And that tells you, okay? So I'm going to write a 3 on top. Writer, where do I write the 3? Above the 4. And after I divide, Jaylee, what do I do? What two numbers?
23 and 3.
And what do I get?
16.
69. What do I do after I multiply, Morgan?
Subtract.
Okay. Any special instructions for subtracting here?
You have to
Morgan.
regroup and it equals 15.
So this is going to be 14 minus 9
5.
and 7 minus 6. All right. After I subtract, Fernanda, what do I do?
You see 15 is smaller than the
Good. 15 is less than 23. So that's my remainder. Lillian, what would I highlight here?
The 23 is the 3 on top and 15 on top.
Very good. I like how specific she was. Oziel, what is my multiplication problem?
23 times 3
Good.
equals 69.
Oh, thank you. I didn't have to ask. And Cody, what do I do next?
Add 15.
Add 15. Did I start with 84?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Do we have one more problem?
Yes.
Okay. If you are out of room, you can sure write this on the very back because it's blank on the very back. It's up to you. Okay. Step 1, what is it?
Right.
Write the problem. Which number goes in the doghouse?
57.
No, the first one. Don't tell me the number. Tell me where it is in the problem. Okay? Let's round this divisor this time. Okay? So what are we going to round 29 to?
30.
Very simple, isn't it? Okay, now this is going to be a little different, so you've got to stay with me. Don't move ahead. Now I skip count by 30. So 3, 6. I don't have to go very far, do I? Okay, so which number to the side is closest to 57 without going over?
30.
So,
Wait, no. Oh, we went over.
okay.
Is 1, 10.
Okay, so what am I going to put on top of the doghouse?
1.
A 1.
On top of the 7.
Now I want to show you something because we're going to have to do it later anyway. All right? When you get ready to multiply these, just multiply it over here. And then you've got step 1 of checking it done. Clever, huh? I know.
What?
Yep. Now I'm ready to subtract. So this becomes a, and this is a
17.
17 minus 9.
6.
I thought it was 8. And 4 minus 2.
2.
Guess what? The number one mistake children make when doing long division. Guess what? Subtraction. Because of the regrouping. Okay, so is 28 less than 29?
Yes.
It is. By 1. Okay, what will I highlight?
29, the 1 on top, and 28 on bottom.
Good. Okay. My last step, Caitlin, in checking it is what?
Addition.
Add what number?
The remainder 28.
Good. Did I start with 57?
Yes.
Now, you may think you're done for the day, but you're not. We're going to do another problem because we have time. So turn it over to the very, very back. Okay? And I'm going to pick a problem off the homework page. So I'm going to skip ahead to that real quick, okay?
I'll be fine with that.
Well, I can send it home with you if you want me to.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I want to do, let me pick it out real quick. I want to do C on here. So what I need you to do is on the back of your paper, just write down 94 divided by 33. And then we still need the exact same things. Let me move that over a little bit. So we're going to need the lines for estimating. And then we'll go through all the steps. Okay, we wrote the problem. Now what should we do? Round the divisor. Okay. Well, Jesus says we could skip count. You want to try?
Yeah.
Okay. So 33, then what? 66, 99. I think you're right, Jesus. I think we can skip count and not round the divisor. So which number to the side is closest to 94 without going over?
66.
Let's estimate that one. 66 divided by 33?
2.
Remember, 1, 2. That's how you figure it out. So I'm going to write a 2 on top. Where, Tyler, where am I going to write the 2?
Over to 4.
Good. And I already know that 2 times 33 is... Okay. So, Jesus, help me subtract here. What do I need to do to get my subtraction to work? Regroup. So the 9 becomes?
8.
And the 4 becomes?
14.
Okay. 14 minus 6?
8.
And 8 minus 6?
2.
Adam, what's the last thing I do? After I subtract? Well, I have to check it first. What do I check? Is 28? And it is... Okay. What do I need to highlight, Jaden?
28, 33, and 2.
Good. Okay, check your problem. I want to do one more. Sorry, you're not going to be happy with me, but you can do it. $94. Good? All right. So I'm going to clear this off. Hopefully you're not just copying me because you know what to do. Let's do one more problem on the back. Let's do D. Okay? So I'm going to put 67 divided by 19. And then I'm going to set this up. Just like I have been. So I wrote the problem, didn't I? Okay. Now I need to decide, am I going to round the divisor or keep it? We're going to round it. We're going to make it what? 20. And then we're going to skip count by 2's, okay? And then add our zeros so it's the multiples of 20, okay? Now, don't work ahead because you really need to stay with me here. Okay, so I'm going to try, what number do I want to choose here? 60. And 60 divided by 20 is 3. So I'm going to see if 3 is going to work on top. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the 3 up there. Write my little multiplication sign. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now I'm going to go over here and multiply it. Because if it is going to work, I'm going to need to write it later on anyway, aren't I? Does 3 work?
Yeah.
Yeah, 57 is pretty close to 67 and it doesn't go over. So I'm going to write that down. A lot of kids try and write the 60 there, but 60 won't work. It's just an estimate. And what do I get?
10.
Is 10 less than 19?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I check this, life is good. All I have to do is Add my remainder.
Darn.
Okay,